Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking, in this video we're going to be talking about volume of prisms and cylinders. Okay, we've already kind of discussed in class the difference between a prism and cylinder, and also pyramids and cones. So just a reminder about what makes a prism. We've got a 3D shape with two congruent and parallel bases. That's important. That's how you're going to identify the name of the shape, is by those two congruent parallel bases. And they're connected with rectangular sides. So if you see more than two rectangles, that's a clue that we're dealing with a prism. All right, and you're going to name it by the shape of its base. So you're looking for just two shapes that are parallel to one another, so they're across from one another. And whatever shape that is, if they're connected by rectangles, that's the name of the prism. And then a cylinder has two circular bases, okay? And the side, it ends up unrolling into a rectangle. Okay, what you're going to want, now I've already included the volume formula right here, so you don't really need your formula card, but you might want it because you do need it for finding the area of the base. Okay, all right, so we haven't had a chance to talk yet about volume, but volume is a whole bunch of different layers of different things. So for example, if we were to take a look at this stack of Post-it notes, right? Okay, we can see that it's one Post-it note over and over and over and over and over again. So the volume is the amount of space that this object is taking up. So if I want to know about the amount of space that it's taking up, well, if we think about it, I've got this shape, which is a square, and I'm going to find the area of it, but then I have a piece of paper on top of a piece of paper on top of a piece of paper. So this, the height of my Post-it notes, okay, or the height of, in this case, my prism, if I multiply the area of my base, which is this square, by how high it is, that's going to give me how much space this stack of Post-it notes is taking up. And that's the same for any 3D object. It's going to be the area of the base times the height, because we're basically layering on flat surfaces until it makes it 3D. Okay? So we're going to work together to do A, B, and C together. Okay? Walk you through the steps. You're going to have you pause the video and try it on your own and check. And then you're going to be responsible for doing D, E, and F on your own. Okay? All right, so let's start with A. Anytime you're dealing with geometry, in order to make sure you use the right formula and the right numbers, you need to make sure that you identify important pieces. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to identify, what is this shape? Well, if this is not a square, 4 and 5. Remember, base can be on the bottom, it can be on the side, it can be on the top, it can be anywhere. Base does not always mean the bottom shape, okay? So in this case, we're looking for, I see there's a whole bunch of rectangles. So it's a prism, so we're looking for two congruent parallel bases. Well, if I look at these sides, 4 by 5, that's a rectangle. I've got two of them. Or if I look at this side, 4 by 10, that's another rectangle. So no matter which way I look at this shape, it is a rectangular prism. And those are our most common ones, okay? So for our sake, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the bottom be the base in this case. And I'm going to outline my base in green. And remember, there's two of them. They're parallel, so they're across from one another. All right, they don't intersect. They don't touch. So those are my two bases. So the shape of my base is a rectangle. And here for the height, it means the height of the 3D shape. So I'm going to use pink to represent the height of my 3D shape. And the height is going to connect the two bases. So that's my 5. All right. So when we're doing this, let's start off with the formula. Volume equals the area of the base, that's what the big capital B stands for, times the height. Well, the area of my base, so the area of my base I'm going to do off to the side. Okay, I'm finding the area of a rectangle. Well, the area of my rectangle here, it's base times height, and it's going to be the 10 by the 4. So I'm going to do 10 times 4. So that's 40. All right, let's actually change this to, instead of using A, let's use the big B, because we're trying to find the area, and I'm going to draw a picture of what I'm finding. Okay? So now I can replace that big B, so the area of my base, or the capital B, is 40. And, oops, I forgot to record my height up in here. So I found the area of my base is 40, and my height is 5. So volume equals 200. All right? And don't forget to, so we got 200, my units were inches, and because it's three-dimensional, we're going to have a 3 for our units in our exponent. Okay, please make sure that you do not put the 3 on the 200. That changes the value. The 3 belongs on the units. Okay? Okay, let's take a look at B. See if you can pause the video and try to name the shape for yourself. All right? So again, what we're looking for is I see a triangle here, and I see another triangle here. And I only see 2 of them. They're not touching. Okay, so there's 2 congruent, and they're parallel bases. So that means that that is my base. Excuse me. So it's triangle, and I see a rectangle over here connecting those 2, so that means that it's a prism. So it's a triangular prism, okay? Because the shape of my base is a triangle. Okay, the height of my prism, remember, is the line that connects the bases. So there's the height, which is 12 centimeters. All right, so start with our formula. Volume equals the area of the base times the height. Okay, well, this big B stands for the area of the base. So area of the base, well, the base is a triangle, okay? So I'm going to write the formula for a triangle. If you need to, use your formula sheet. I see that area equals 1/2 base times height, so 1/2 base times height. Now this B and this H are different than this B and this H. This is the base of our triangle. So this is the base of our triangle. So if I come back up here, remember base and height always form that 90-degree angle. So there's the base, and there's that height. So I get 1/2, base 8, and the height is 3. So 1/2, 8 times 3 is 24, so that's 12. So the area of my triangle is 12. So the area of my triangle is 12. So I can replace this big B now with 12. And then come back here, I already identified the height of my prism as 12. So 12 times 12 is 144. All right, we're going to go down to the bottom to record our answer, 144. My units were centimeters, and it's three-dimensional, so it's centimeters cubed. Alrighty. Okay, we see here that we have 2 circles, 2 circular bases. So since we have circles and we have 2 of them, this is a cylinder, because our shape of our base is a circle. All right, the line connecting the 2 bases is my height, which is 12. Okay, so same thing. Volume equals the area of the base times the height. Well, my base is a circle. So base is a circle. So I'm going to go ahead and find the area of that. So I'm going to come over to my formula sheet. I say, okay, oh, circle, it's pi r squared. Remember, we're going to use 3.14 for pi. So 3.14, okay, I need the radius. So I'm going to go back up to my image. Remember, radius is from the center to the edge. So in this case, they gave me the radius. Now, if this was the whole line, and they said the whole line was 4, I'd have to divide it in half to find the radius. So make sure you're paying attention Okay, there's my radius. So I got to do 4, and don't forget the exponent on it. So 3.14 times 4 squared is 16. All right, and do that in my calculator, and I get 50.24. So the area of my base is 50.24, and then I'm going to stack 12 of them on top of each other. So there's the area of my base, and my height, how many circles I'm stacking on top of each other, is 12. So I'm going to take that number and multiply it by 12, and I get 602 and 88/100ths. Okay? All right, so I'm going to rewrite my answer with the correct units, and that's centimeters cubed. Okay, so that takes you through those 3 examples about making sure that you identify your bases, identify your height, because that's important. Identifying the base tells you what formula to find to use for area, and then identifying your height tells you what to then multiply by in each of those cases. Okay? So your job is to complete D, E, and F. Make sure you name the shape, identify the shape and base, the height, and set up your work. Should look very similar to mine. Okay? I want to see that you've calculated the area of the base, and then you plugged it into your formula. I want to see the formulas. Show me all the steps as you work through it. Alrighty? And I'll go over those with you in class.